Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be all about what happens after tech school. I asked you guys on Instagram what you'd like to see next, and this was the topic that was most voted for. I will still be doing all the other videos I asked you about on my Instagram story, but this was the most voted for the one you guys wanted to see first. So today I'm going to tell you all about what happens after tech school. So just like the rest of my videos, this is going to be based on my experience. This will definitely differ depending on your job, what base you go to for tech school, and things like that. So for my tech school, about 30 days before we graduated, we had a 30-day out processing brief. So this is where they gave us a checklist and they said, these are all the things you need to do before you leave this base. And they all had different due dates, like some things you had to do right away, some things were due 14 days before you leave, 7 days before you leave. We had multiple out processing briefs. And on the checklist, it was really just things like going to the post office, providing them with a forwarding address for your mail, and things like that. We had to check in at the library. They had to check that we had nothing still checked out. They stamp it or sign off on it. The day we worked really hard for finally came, tech school graduation. You graduate in your blues, and your family is more than welcome to come, or at least they were for ours. My family did come to mine, and it was awesome. It's a great day. You feel very accomplished. For ours, the commander was there. He's the one who provided us with our certificate. We got to shake his hand, salute him. There were also a lot of senior NCOs there. A lot of our instructors that we had throughout the course were there, so they got to congratulate us. We kind of all stood in a line afterwards, and they were able to shake our hand and tell us congratulations, which was awesome. Some of our MTLs were even there. So it's kind of like any other graduation. We waited for our names to be called, and before we go up there and shake the commander's hand, there was a senior NCO who gave us our occupational badge for our blues. So they will kind of pin that on you, and you no longer have just like 2 or 3 ribbons from basic. Now you also have this shiny silver badge, so that's a great feeling. And then after that, you are also finally allowed to buy your occupational badge, have it stitched onto your ABUs or OCPs. I still have ABUs, a lot of people do, but. So after graduation, you are more than welcome to take RAP, or Recruiter's Assistance Program. This is something that needs to be set up 3 to 4 weeks ahead of time, or at least that's how it was at my tech school. So you can reach out to your recruiter, ask them to approve you coming home for 10 to 12 days of free leave. So the point of this is just to help the recruiter with their day-to-day duties, like during office hours. So some recruiters will have you come in every day during office hours and help them out, like maybe make phone calls or stop by high schools, talk to people in person or over the phone, just about your experiences so far, educate them about the Air Force, things like that. So like I said, for us, we had to get that approved 3 to 4 weeks ahead of time, so that meant talking to our recruiter, filling out the RAP form at our tech school, getting it signed by our MTL and also by our recruiter. So that's something that I would highly recommend doing. During BMT and during tech school, 99% of the time you're not going to be able to take leave unless it's an emergency situation. So at this time, you've spent months without really having quality time with your family and friends or going home. So it's a great opportunity to go home, especially without spending your hard-earned leave days. So I graduated on Monday, July 22nd, and since I graduated on a Monday, we had to stay the next day for a brief in the morning before we could actually leave, and then I had to drive back to Missouri with my family. My recruiter told me that RAP had to start on a Monday, so I did have to take a few days of leave, and then I started RAP the following Monday, which was totally fine with me because that just gave me even more time with my family, and I had a pretty long tech school, so at this point, I hadn't been home in about 8 months. Some people I graduated with were able to start their RAP on a Wednesday. I'm not sure how that worked out. My recruiter did not approve it. My MTL was fine with it, but my recruiter said, no, you have to start on a Monday. So that might also be different from recruiter to recruiter. So after RAP, if you are driving to your first duty station like I did, you are provided a certain amount of travel days depending on how far your drive is. It's going to be based on the mileage. And since I knew that I'd be living in the dorms at first, at least for a little while, I didn't bring too much stuff, but I was able to bring some stuff in my car. So since I drove to my first duty station, I was reimbursed per mile as well as for food and lodging. It was a flat rate of $125 per day. And then I can't remember the rate per mile. So if anyone has done this recently and you remember or you know, please leave it in the comments. But I want to say it was like 30 something cents per mile. As soon as you get to your first duty station and they give you a few days or even a week to in process, one of the first things they're going to encourage you to do is go to finance, fill out your travel voucher so that you can get reimbursed. I did use my government travel card or GTC for this. So nothing came out of my pocket and you do get reimbursed. Before you arrive to your first duty station, you should be set up with a sponsor and they will contact you through your military email. If you don't get provided a sponsor, there are people you can talk to. So my situation was a little bit confusing. I would be assigned a sponsor, then they weren't my sponsor anymore, and then I got a new sponsor, but they weren't my sponsor anymore. And I think I went through like 3 or 4 before I even got to my first duty station. So when I got here, I did have a sponsor. He met me on base. We met at the BX. So the point of the sponsor, they're supposed to bring you to your squadron or your supervisor. They're going to bring you somewhere to check in, and they're going to make sure you get an in-processing checklist. So basically everything you did when you out-processed from your last base, you're going to do again in reverse. So you'll go to the post office, you'll set up a box, things like that. You're going to do it all over again. Pretty much, you're always going to in-process and out-process wherever you go. So when you get to your first duty station, it's not going to be like you're jumping straight into your job the day you get there. I didn't realize I'd be given so much time to in-process when I got to my first base. I thought they were going to throw me straight into my job. I didn't know what to expect. So I hope this video is helpful to those of you who are wondering what happens after tech school, what happens when I get to my first duty station. So after you in-process to your first duty station, anything that happens after that is going to be completely dependent upon your job, your squadron's mission. If you guys have any questions about what happens after tech school, something I left out, or something you want to know more about, just leave it in the comments and I will get back to you guys. Or you can message me on Instagram at Brittany L. Willis. I try to get back to you guys as soon as possible on there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!